and welcome to a new episode of the Red Mountain Express. I'm Patrick Tucker, and with me is J.D. Baker.
Hello. Yeah, Blake and Matthew are both not here, so it's kind of like Leonard Skinner now. They're like no original members left. It's just like a couple of new guys, and
they're not as good.
Seeing if it works.
This is our special Valentine's Day episode. Hopefully, we'll be coming out on Valentine's Day.
True.
You got any big Valentine's Day plans?
No big Valentine's Day plans. Just kind of kicking it here at the house, I think.
So where's Matthew this week?
Looks like Matthew had to take a sudden trip to the Dagobah system to complete some continuing education courses for work. And Blake is currently on his way back from Texarkana, Texas, where he had to run blocker for a truck full of Coors beer. We wish him safe in his travels. Now, I think this is the Coors banquet beer, not Coors Light.
Oh, yeah,
hopefully.
This is the banquet. Yeah, this is the heavy. Yeah, we worked those in. Thanks, Blake, for sending those in.
We heard from Blake's people on that one.
Yeah, we had some help on those, and we appreciate that. We keep going back and forth on this Valentine's Day thing. Where like somebody will be like, "Oh, tomorrow's Valentine's Day," and we're like, "Oh."
Okay.
I bought Liz a Valentine's Day present, so that's good.
Yeah, I got the kids stuff. Got the wife something. So I think
Liz got the kids stuff, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm done. You get a card."
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Cards are fun.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
I mean, I went out of my way and bought her a present, but that's okay. She doesn't listen to the show anyway, so I can talk all about it.
Oh, there you go. I'm not getting involved in this one.
All right. Well, so did you just played a gig tonight, right?
I did. I just got done with a gig at Saw's Juke Joint tonight. Played there from 6 to 8.
And you got any other gigs
nice
coming up?
Crowd. Playing at Cahaba Brewery this Friday. Probably starting around 6:30ish.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully the weather will be nice.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, you'll be inside anyway, but
yeah, we'll be inside. But I mean, I'm sure they'll have a food truck and everything.
That patio area is super awesome.
It's really nice over there.
All right, well, let's take a quick break, and we're gonna come back and talk about some news. There's a lot going on in Birmingham this week, so that's why we didn't want to skip this episode because there's so much we need to talk about, and we'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
Beecham Woodworks is a locally owned and operated wood shop in Birmingham, Alabama, specializing in custom furniture and small home goods. Chris and Kanan Beecham create a wide variety of unique pieces of all sizes, ranging from cutting boards to farmhouse tables. Using wood sourced from Alabama sawmills, Beecham Woodworks creates affordable quality pieces that will be a one-of-a-kind fixture for your home. So support your local woodworker and visit redmountainexpress.com/woodworks or check them out on their Facebook and Instagram accounts. Beecham Woodworks, turning your house into a home.
And welcome back to the remaining 90% of the podcast.
Welcome back. We failed to mention earlier before the break that this is, we think, episode 70.
Yes.
And I would just like to point out that we were mature enough to not point out that last episode was episode 69.
That or we forgot.
Which has now become null and void because we brought it up.
Yeah, so, that's probably the fastest we've ever gone to a break. You can tell who the amateurs are here. Oh, well. But we do have a lot of news to talk about, so I wanted to get into some of those. Did you happen to go to the Birmingham Iron game this weekend?
I did not go to the Birmingham Iron game, but it was a shutout. 26-0 win over the Memphis Express.
The Memphis Express, yeah. And Randall Woodfin actually tweeted out to the mayor of Memphis a little friendly wager. I think he wagered that if Birmingham won, that Memphis would buy, or the city of Memphis or the mayor of Memphis would buy the A.G. Gaston Boys and Girls Club a nice dinner.
Big lunch.
A big lunch, okay.
Yes, is what it says here.
And then what was Birmingham going to make a donation or something?
They were going to make a donation to the M-South Food Bank.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which also seems reasonable. So both good causes. I'm glad Birmingham won on that one. So I hope the Boys and Girls Club will enjoy their nice lunch.
Yeah, the mayor, Jim Strickland, accepted the challenge and said hope that the Birmingham Iron bring their A game against Memphis because Memphis doesn't bluff. That's what it says here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but they did. Because they didn't really show up for the game. I mean, they were actually a slight. I think actually Birmingham might have been a 1-point favorite. There's really no way to handicap these teams. They've literally never played
it's
before.
Never existed before. But
so I think all the home teams were favorites in the first inaugural games. But so I think Trent Richardson got a couple of late touchdowns on the ground. It was a good, awesome defensive, showing for the Iron.
Right.
So it's a good start to our inaugural season here, and hopefully there will be many more games. I was gonna actually go to this game, thought about it, or was gonna talking to my brother about going, and then my youngest got sick on Sunday, and Liz was not back in town yet, so I was dealing with that while she was on her way back in, so I didn't quite make it to the game.
Sick kids.
Yeah,
I do want to go to a game though.
Yeah, I definitely want to go. Yeah, I know it's going to be cold, but
I don't think tickets are too expensive.
They're really not. They're really reasonable. So, speaking of tickets, the other thing we did not do this weekend was we did not go to the Marvel Universe.
I did not go to that either.
Thing at the BJCC. They were advertising on the radio, and I felt like it was a little bit like a bait and switch because they were advertising like $15 tickets to this thing, and I'm like, hey, for $45, I can take the 2 kids and go down there. I'll be an awesome dad. They'll love me. Yeah, easy win. $45, spend the afternoon down there. By the time I got on to look at tickets, I think the cheapest tickets were maybe $30 a piece.
Is that like front row center?
No, it was not. It was just all they had left to get 3 tickets together. Now, I think you might have been able to get like $25 tickets if you only had 2 people together. But I was like, yeah. So we went from like $45 to, plus all the Ticketmaster fees. It was going to be like $150 to take the 3 of us. And I was like, not going.
The service charges?
Yeah, the service charges. That's so kind of them. So we ended up not doing that either, which the kids didn't ever know about. I think actually Wesley saw like an advertisement for it when he went to Monster Jam. I didn't go with him, but he went with a friend. And when he saw a billboard for it, he told me it had already happened. And I was like,
yep,
yep.
It sure did.
Definitely
we'll
did.
We'll catch it next time.
We will definitely catch it next time.
I know a lot of people that did go.
Yeah?
I saw a lot of people posting it on Facebook and all that. So.
I'm sure it was awesome.
I'm sure it was.
But yeah, not for that kind of money. So maybe we'll catch it next year.
So here's another one. So Birmingham is reportedly interested in co-hosting the Raiders for the 2019 NFL season.
Yeah, so this is an extremely odd story because so it turns out
they're homeless.
Oakland Raiders are now homeless, and Birmingham has generously offered them a home. And when I say Birmingham, it's not really Birmingham. It was just the council president who kind of went rogue on this and just kind of said,
"We'll do it.
Yeah, we'll host them." And in combination with Arizona, is that right?
Yes, with Tucson.
So
maybe doing a split.
Yeah, I think splitting games between Legion Field and their location there in Arizona. But so William Parker is the one who has the plan to do this. But what was really funny, plan, because what was really funny is this came up at a council meeting where they basically saw the headlines in some papers that Birmingham was making a bid to bring the Raiders to Birmingham, and no one on the city council nor Mayor Whitfin had any clue that this was happening. And so they were like, this would be great, but
sure.
Could somebody fill us in on the details? What are we offering them? What's part of the deal? I mean, they were completely blindsided by this, so they really had no idea this was going on, which I found kind of humorous, but kind of not.
We'll see what happens. So the Raiders were kicked out of their stadium, and they won't start in Las Vegas until the 2020 season. So this is just the 2019 season where they really just have no home.
So Parker basically said, he was asked about it after the council meeting. He's basically like, we're full steam ahead on this thing. He's like, we kind of got to move quick, and I guess he just kind of felt confident enough to go out on his own on this. And I think he had some other people on board. I think people were I think he was pretty instrumental in getting the Iron here.
There are some football fans in Alabama.
There are definitely some football fans. I think, it's unfortunate that Amari Cooper doesn't play for the Raiders anymore because that would be a good homecoming for him. But, I think this would be pretty crazy if this
Maybe it's
actually
gonna be
happened.
like just that whole the bring Amazon to Birmingham thing. It'll just get a lot of publicity, and then maybe not much will come of it. But
I'd say even if it does get a lot of publicity and not much comes of it, I can't blame them for trying. I mean, I think the city has a lot of great things going on for it, and I think this would be another great thing going on for it. And if they somehow manage to pull this off, I mean, I don't see any way that they don't just extend their lease at their current stadium. I mean,
right,
who's gonna go fill that stadium when the Raiders leave?
right.
I mean, it's just gonna be sitting there
Yeah.
empty. So surely they'd be
They
like,
would want
yeah,
to make a little bit of money off
and
it.
it's gonna cost you, and here's how much. So I don't know. Maybe there's still room in there for Birmingham to pick up a game or something at least. That'd be at least kind of cool. But yeah, I think it's just pretty funny that it just kind of happened. Or
It's like, okay, here's
they're
what
like,
we're
oh,
doing now.
that's great. It's nice hearing about that in the news. I wish somebody had told me about it. Anyway, so that's fun.
Go Raiders.
We'll see. So in other sort of sports-related news, also / Birmingham politics, I thought this was an interesting story. Mayor Woodfin is pursuing an effort to rename the Birmingham Crossplex to the Larry P. Langford Crossplex.
Yeah, this was an interesting one.
I understand the man just passed away and that he was the mayor of Birmingham for quite a while. But I just don't see naming a building after a convicted felon.
So Woodfin stated that he did make many contributions to our city. We feel and participate in those contributions today,
Yeah,
which makes sense.
but he also, made some pretty bad deals. I mean, so Blake, when we were discussing this, Blake commented that we should name the sewer system after him, which, I mean, come on, like, the some of the decisions that were made with him have cost the citizens of this city literally millions of dollars in increased sewer fees, and I mean, I just don't see how you come back from that to have a building named after you, especially it's a great building, and it brings a lot of people to our city. It's a great facility. We tried to
we
Google
want that legacy to be.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what we want the legacy to be on that building. I think typically when people get convicted of felonies, we start naming things that were named after them to other people.
You just switch them up.
Yeah, like Scrushy Parkway or whatever is not
Right,
It's not,
yeah, you
it's
don't
not
see
that
anything with
anymore.
his
Yeah,
name
you
on
don't
it
see
anymore.
anything with Scrushy's name on it anymore because that's a bad thing when you get sent to prison.
It's just bad press.
Yeah, it just doesn't look good in the papers,
It has the backing of a couple of city council members, but we'll see what happens.
I kind of hope this one doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't get made into a big deal either way. But we tried to Google and find other buildings named after convicted felons.
It's a hard thing to Google.
Yeah, there's not a
Either
lot.
it doesn't exist, or
There don't seem to be a lot of buildings named after convicted felons.
I didn't find the Charles Manson Memorial Highway or anything like that.
There's probably one somewhere.
Not to compare Charles Manson to Larry Langford, but
Yeah, we're talking about some shady, political and business dealings versus, murdering a bunch of people. That's kind of or convincing other people to murder other people. I don't know. Anyway, not quite the same.
But I digress.
Yeah, still interesting. All right. So one other story that I thought was pretty fascinating was the city of Birmingham and much of the state of Alabama is getting a new area code.
Yeah, 659 will be the new area code.
So Reuben Studdard's going to have to come up with a whole new clothing line. The 205 hats and shirts aren't going to cut it
659
anymore.
doesn't have as much of a ring to
It
it.
really doesn't. I think, the good news is if you have an existing 205 number, you will not need to get a new one. No one will have to start dialing 659 and then your number. But the bad news is for local calls now on a landline. What's a landline? Or on your cell
I don't know
phone.
anyone that still has a landline.
Or on your cell phone. If you have numbers stored with just the 7 digits, you will need to go in and add the area code to those so that they will be dialed correctly. And this is, I think it's going to sort of phase in, and we've got a few months now before this really happens. Is that right?
Right, looks like April 13th, 2019.
Well, that's pretty soon. So that's like a month
Yeah.
from now.
Is
Today.
when you will have to start using the new dialing procedures.
Yeah, so the new dialing procedures is just no one or whatever. You don't have to dial the full long distance. You will just dial the full 10-digit number. And it won't cost long distance. It's not a long distance phone call. It is just a new way of dialing it. You have to put in the whole number, correct?
Wait, I take that back. So April 13th, if you fail to do the full 10 digits, your call will still go through. But beginning October 12th, you must use the new 10-digit dialing procedure to make
all
local
right. So
calls.
you do have a few months. So it goes into effect in April, but really it's kind of a must
It's a
do
little
by
trial period.
October. Yeah. So you can get in the hang of it. You got some time to convert your old phone numbers on your phone over. So just be aware of the public service announcement for the city of Birmingham and
659.
surrounding area. 659 is that's going to be confusing.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I guess we're just growing so much. We're just running out of phone numbers.
So here's another one, also in sports news, I guess.
Yeah, well, sort
Let's
of.
go with that.
Sporting goods.
Sporting goods. So the Academy Sports at Lee Branch will be closing, and they will be replacing it with a Dick's Sporting Goods and a Golf Galaxy.
Yeah, so this is a partnership deal. I don't think they're owned by the same company.
I've never heard of Golf Galaxy.
I never heard of that either, and I've done zero research on it, so you're welcome. But according to the article, they're going to basically split the space that was used by Academy, and there's going to be a smaller Golf Galaxy store, I think maybe 24,000 square feet, if I'm remembering that off the top of my head, which is probably wrong. And then, like, the majority of the space is going to be a Dick's Sporting Goods, which I also thought was kind of weird because there's basically one across the street down at Brook Highland, which I wonder if they're going to close that store.
I don't know.
I
I've
mean,
not heard anything about that.
That's just too...
They are on different sides of 280, though, so
They are.
people who don't want to make a left.
I get it. And honestly, the space at Brook Highland is not very prominent. It's kind of like tucked down the hill in a corner. It's not like the feature space on the building, so you don't really see it from the road as much.
And they do kind of service different parts of town. I mean, more of the people from Chelsea will go to that.
Sure. I just can't imagine not driving. Literally, it cannot be more than a mile down the road.
We should clock it.
Yeah, I'll map it at some point. So interesting. It'll be really interesting to see if they keep the Brook Highland store. My guess is that those two stores will cannibalize each other's sales, and
they'll just become one.
Also, I'm a little bit surprised that another golf store is going in.
Right.
I mean, I don't play golf, so I don't know how much of a need there is to
buy golf stuff.
A whole lot of golf stores. But I mean, Dick's
a whole galaxy of golf stuff.
Dick's already sells golf stuff, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have like a whole golf section in their store, but I think they're not going to have a golf section in this store because of the Golf Galaxy.
So the Golf Galaxy will be 24,000 square feet in and of itself.
Yeah, that's what
I
I did remember that.
You did remember that. Look at you.
And then, the other space is like, what, 40-some thousand, 42,000?
The total space is 47,000.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so maybe a smaller Dick's store, decent size Golf Galaxy. But I mean, the PGA Superstore is not much farther down the road in Inverness.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be an Edwin Watts down there, but I think that closed when the PGA store went in. But I mean, my goodness,
it's a lot.
That's a lot of golf right there.
I mean, they would have had to do some research. I mean, obviously, there's a market for it, or maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure that there's a ton of golf players in Alabama. I mean, Alabama has some great, especially Birmingham has some great golf courses.
Right.
We've got the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail going through Alabama. So I know a lot of people come here to play golf, and I guess if you're staying out there or, you're going to play at Greystone or something like that, that would be the place to go.
That would be the place to go, yeah.
But, well, interesting. So good for them. I kind of sad to see Academy go. I really like Academy. I know there are other ones.
Yeah, I like Academy.
That will be there now. So, all right. Well, so a couple of other things just going on in the local area. There will be another edition of the TEDx Birmingham. Are you a big fan of TED Talks?
I've watched a couple of them.
Okay.
I haven't seen like a ton of them, but
I've gone through
I
phases.
do like the theory of it.
I've gone through phases where I'll watch many of them, and
Just go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, my wife will get really annoyed because I'll be like, "So I was watching this TED Talk," and she's like, "Uh-huh." It's like stuff that is
just
not at
glazes
all
over
interesting to her.
instantly.
But I mean, there are some fascinating TED Talks, stuff that gets, I don't know. I think a lot of these things are really cool, and the TEDx series is kind of the smaller local events or locally organized or independently organized events. They are sort of related. They follow all the sort of TED rules around technology, entertainment, and design, which is what TED stands for, in case you didn't know. And we actually know one of the speakers this time, right?
We do.
We were talking about him on the last podcast. His name was,
and actually, I believe you mentioned that he did a TED Talk on the last one.
I think Blake may have mentioned it, but he's going to be doing a TED Talk, and that's Scott Pierce. If you know him, he's just Pierce. And I don't have a clue what he's talking about, but I really want to go see him talk because it is like my dream to give a TED Talk. I have no clue what I would talk about. So if you guys have any ideas, talk about podcasting. I just don't know that that's that interesting.
So this will be it'll be a 2-day event with 14 speakers taking place at the Ala-Zona Center on May 3rd and 4th. Yeah,
and I've wanted to go for years. I think this is maybe the 3rd or 4th or 5th year they've done it. I've actually had some other friends that were TEDx speakers. Laura Kate Whitney was one of them, I think, in the first year that they did it. And it seems like a really, really cool thing to do. I don't know. I would love to go to the event. If anybody wants to throw me a ticket, that'd be awesome.
There you
I'll take it. But yeah, they do a whole event. I mean, they have food, they have meals brought in.
It looks like the topics will focus on finding balance in life.
Yeah. It's very Zen-like.
Yeah.
We'll put a link in the show notes to the list of speakers. I should probably know who all these people are, but I don't. Do you know who any of these folks are?
No, I don't. I should probably know them as well, but
well, it will be good to see their TED Talks. I think it's always a good show. They're always really interesting. I always learn a lot when I watch them. So check that out. And kind of the last thing, we haven't really...
This is my favorite story.
Yeah, so we cover a lot of food things, food and drink related things. We like to eat and we like to drink. But this one is interesting. This is one that I will not be trying. Tell us about it.
So Birmingham is getting Alabama's first cat cafe.
A cat cafe. Now, what is a cat cafe, JD?
Well, it's
a combination. So I'll jump in. It's a combination of basically cat adoption agency or store or center. There you go, and restaurant and
cafe.
For someone who is highly allergic to cats, that is not a place I want to go. But
now it looks like one half of the building will be a coffee shop and the other half will be an animal adoption center. So you could probably separate yourself from the cats.
You think you could just go eat at the restaurant and not be affected by the cats? It's not like cats. Like, I wonder if you can see them like through the window while you sit there and sip your latte.
Maybe.
You can,
or you might just see them like as you're walking past, like going in the front door.
It'd be cool if they let you just like borrow a cat, like as you come in and just be like, I'm just gonna go get a cat and just go sit and like pet the cat while I drink my coffee.
Good question. I wonder if the cats will be walking around the cafe area.
That doesn't seem sanitary.
Well, there would have to be. I'm sure there's some sort of cutoff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they can serve food where there are like cats in there. But the name of the place is great. It's Gatos and Beans.
Which I thought was odd. I think
I love it.
One Spanish, one English. I think it should be
Gatos
y frijoles.
Yeah, it should be. Or Cats and Beans.
Or Cats and Beans.
Which is a little bit more to the point. Cats and Beans.
It's exciting. I mean, it's something different. And
so Kelly and Steven Stewart, so they actually participated in the Big Pitch this past year, and they actually won second place in that and a $10,000 prize that has, I would hope, helped them to make this place a reality. So good job, Big Pitch, for bringing another actual real business into the world.
Right, and they're partnering with the animal rescue Kitty Cat Haven, who'll provide the adoption center with cats who are in need of a good home.
I mean, the cats in the pictures are very cute, but it kind of makes me want to sneeze. So, yeah, hopefully they will have some good food, and you can go by and check out a cat. I mean, I don't know that you can actually check them out. But that would
like
be
a
cool.
library, you
Yeah,
can't just
like-
rent them for a couple
Yes,
days
I'd like
and bring them back.
the calico for about the next 3 hours. That'd be cool.
Okay.
Thanks.
And then I will be returning it.
And then it will be coming back. So if you love cats and you love a good cup of coffee or some food, go check out Gatos and Beans.
Yes, the Cat Cafe.
All right. Anything else going on this week, JD? Oh, man. Oh, so before we go, I did want to mention some of our upcoming events from Happenings in the Ham. We love Happenings in the Ham. They always have every awesome event coming up on their calendar. They send out a newsletter. If you go to their site, happeningsintheham.com, check out their newsletter, and we'll just go through some of the events real quick that are going on. Let's start that one.
All right, we have Casablanca at the Alabama Theater, which is Thursday, February 14th. Cost is $9, which, I mean, that's nothing. You should go.
Yeah, for a classic movie
Classic.
in a classic theater.
Right. It's beautiful there.
There's the Romantically Challenged game show. This is happening Thursday, February 14th on Valentine's Day. That's today if you're listening to this. Cost is $10. It is at Saturn. Basically take a break from the madness and the modern dating relationship world with Saturn Birmingham and Max Rykov. Their take on a classic television show, Singled Out, and the Newlywed Game.
That sounds hilarious.
It really does, and I'm sure it will be. Winners will receive fabulous gift certificates for dates, and their romantic challenges are sure to be replaced with romantic successes. So go check that out over at Saturn. I love Saturn. It's an awesome place.
It says it's going to get awkward.
I hope it does.
I'm sure it will.
That'll be fun.
The Birmingham Home Show is February 15th through Sunday, February 17th. The cost is $11.
Only $11. I think this is a good way to spend a day down at the BJCC. You can go check it out. There's, this is very, like, if you like watching the Food Network or TLC or any of those home shows like I do, I can't get enough of watching Property Brothers.
Yeah. See how much money you can get if you just renovate.
Yeah. So, and if you're interested in redoing a house or not, then just go check that out.
The third Friday in Forest Park would be February 15th, and the cost of this is nothing.
That's my favorite price.
It's the best price. You can shop local and enjoy neighborhood restaurants and shops in Forest Park. Restaurants will have specials. Shops and galleries will be open late from 5 to 8.
And they have the Tour de Lou, which, if you've never heard of this, is actually a tour of the local Forest Park merchants' bathrooms. But they're transformed into art installations. There's a $300 prize sponsored by Will Brook. Will be won by the best installation artist. So, hey, if you're a local artist, get in on that Tour de Lou. Get your art set up in the bathroom. I think that's a pretty fun event. There's also a third Friday's event, social dance at Art Play. It's on Friday, February 15th at 6:30. The cost is $5 to $8. There are all forms of social dance in every corner of the world, and Art Play wants to show you just a few of them. So grab a friend, join in on the Art Play at the Art Play House for a fun night of dancing. Each night will have 1 hour of lessons and 1 hour of free dance. So good way to make
Sounds
an evening.
fun. Yeah.
For $5 to $8. That sounds like a
Get in there
great
and
place to
mingle.
take a date, maybe.
Clay Days at the BMA would be Friday, February 15th. A lot going on the 15th.
Yeah. So I mean, Fridays and
That's at the
Saturdays.
Birmingham Museum of Art.
Yep. And we've pretty much hit on most of the things on this. But there are a few more, and one I definitely don't want to forget is Big Machine Day, which is at the McWane Center. I believe this is free if you're a member, but otherwise the cost is $12 to $15 depending on your ticket price.
Still
I think
pretty cheap.
You pay for admission to the museum,
Science Center.
and then you get access to the big machines. So they'll have, I think the folks over at Crane Works will be, bringing up cranes, and they have diggers and loaders and all
Dump
kind of
trucks.
excavators and backhoes and things, dump trucks and
That
all
just sounds
sorts of
awesome.
things that
Even if you
can
don't
go
have
check
kids,
out.
that sounds awesome.
And I say Crane Works. I don't know if that's actually on there, but usually they are the ones that bring stuff down and show it out there. So that's just that's a good number of the events, but there are a few more out there on the Happenings in the Ham website. So go check that out. And so it is also brought to you by Crane Works. So anyway, that should do it for our show today.
Okay.
You can always check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you enjoy the show, go out and rate us on iTunes or whatever podcast service you listen on. You can send us email at info@redmountainexpress.com. Get in touch with us. Let us know what you want to hear. If you're somebody that if you'd like to be on the show, let us know. If you're interested in sponsoring the show, let us know. You can go out to our Patreon account and make a donation, buy us a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Help pay some of the
We'll take
costs. Yeah. But otherwise,
we hope to have some original members back.
yeah,
next week, maybe.
maybe
If
we'll
we
get we're getting the band back together. Maybe. We'll see.
Hopefully.
All right.
Fingers crossed.
Well, that does it for this edition of Red Mountain Express. Thank you guys. Have a great night. We love you. Bye.